Vishesha Shunyava Sita Deshatarne Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Go Premanande. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda. Jai Advaita Chandra, Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Welcome back. We're reading from the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, and gladly so, because it is written by Srila Kaviraj Goswami, who is petitioned by all the greatest Vaishnavas to write the complete teachings of Lord Chaitanya and his life story. And it is a book beloved of all the Paramahamsas. And here we have the opportunity to read all the way through by the grace of Srila Prabhupada. We're reading in the Madhya Lila. We're at chapter 8, the talks between the Lord and Ramananda Roy, and we're taking up where we left off. We'll start at text number 249. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then inquired, out of all liberated persons, who should be accepted as the greatest? Ramananda Roy replied, he who has love for Krishna has attained the topmost liberation. That's from Srimad Bhagavatam, or in the Srimad Bhagavatam purport, 6.14.5, it is said, Muktanam api siddhanam narayana parayana sudurlabha prashantatma koti shvapi mahamune. O great sage, of the many millions of liberated persons, and of the millions who have attained perfection, he who is a devotee of Lord Narayan is very, very rare. Indeed, he is the most perfect and peaceful person. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu next asked Ramananda Roy, among many songs, which song is to be considered the actual religion of the living entity? Ramananda Roy replied, that song describing the loving affairs of Sri Radha and Krishna is superior to all other songs. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.33.36, Anugrahaya Bhaktanam Manusham Dehamastita Bhajate Tadrashi Krida Yashutva Tatparo Bhavet. Lord Krishna descends apparently as a human being, and he exhibits his transcendental pastimes in Vrindavan so that the conditioned soul may be attracted to hearing his transcendental activities. Non-devotees are strictly prohibited from participating in songs celebrating the loving affairs of Radha and Krishna. Unless one is a devotee, it is very dangerous to hear the songs about the pastimes of Radha and Krishna that were written by Jayadev Goswami, Chandidas, and other exalted devotees. Lord Shiva drank an ocean of poison, but one should not imitate this. One must first become a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. Only then can one enjoy hearing the songs of Jayadev and relish transcendental bliss. If one simply imitates the activities of Lord Shiva, then drinks poison, one will certainly meet with death. The talks between Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Roy are meant for advanced devotees only. Those who are on the mundane platform and who study these talks in order to put forward some thesis for a PhD will not be able to understand them. Instead, these conversations will have a poisonous effect. Text 251. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, out of all auspicious and beneficial activities, which is best for the living entity? Ramananda Roy replied, the only auspicious activity is association with the devotees of Krishna. Purport, according to Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.30, At yantikam shemam prichamo bhavatong gaha samsare smin shanardo pi satsanga shevadir nranam. We are asking you to tell us what is the most perfect welfare activity. I think that in this material world, association with devotees, even if it is for a moment, is the greatest treasure house for mankind. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, what should all living entities constantly remember? Ramananda Roy replied, the chief objects of remembrance are always the Lord's holy name, qualities, and pastimes. Purport, Srimad Bhagavatam 2.2.36 states, Tasmat sarvatmana rajan hari sarvata sarvada shrotavya kirtitavyascha smartavyo bhagavandrinam. Shukadev Goswami concludes, the business of the living entity is to always remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead in every circumstance. The Lord should be heard about, glorified, and remembered by all human beings. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu further inquired, out of many types of meditation, which is required for all living entities? Srila Ramananda Roy replied, the chief duty of every living entity is to meditate upon the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. Purport, Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.14 states, Tasmade kena manasa bhagavan sattvatam pati shodavya kirtitavyascha dhyaya pujasta nityada. Suta Goswami replied to the sages headed by Shonaka, everyone should very attentively listen to the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should glorify his activities and meditate upon him regularly. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, where should the living entity live, abandoning all other places? Ramananda Roy replied, he should live in the holy place known as Vrindavan or Vrajabhumi, where the Lord performed his rasa dance. According to Srimad Bhagavatam 10.47.61, Asam maho charana renu jasham maham syam vrindavane kimapi gulma latosha dinam yadushadam swajjanam arya patam chahitva bejur makunda paravim shuti birimingyam. Uddhava said, let me become one of Vrindavan's herbs and plants that are trampled by the gopis, who gave up all connections with family and friends and decided to worship the lotus feet of Mukunda. Those lotus feet are sought by all great saintly persons expert in the study of Vedic literature. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asks, out of all topics people listen to, which is best for all living entities? Ramananda Roy replied, hearing about the loving affairs between Radha and Krishna is most pleasing to the ear. According to Srimad Bhagavatam 10.33.39, Vikriditam Rajavadur Biridam Javishno Shadhan Vito Nushunu Yaratavarna Yedya Bhaktim Baram Bhagavati Pratilabhya Kamam Regrogam Pahinot Acharena Dhira. He who faithfully hears about the dealings between Lord Krishna and the gopis in the rasa dance, and he who describes these activities, attain to the perfectional stage of devotional service and simultaneously lose material lusty desires. A liberated person who hears about the loving affairs of Radha and Krishna is not inclined to have lusty desires. One mundane rogue once said that when the Vaishnavas chant the name Radha Radha, he simply remembers a barber's wife named Radha. This is a practical example. Unless one is liberated, he should not try to hear about the loving affairs between Radha and Krishna. If one is not liberated and listens to a relation of the rasa dance, he may remember his own mundane activities and illicit connections with some woman whose name may be Radha. In the conditioned stage, one should not even try to remember such things. By practicing the regulative principles, one should rise to the platform of spontaneous attraction for Krishna. Then and only then should one hear about Radha Krishna Leela. Although these affairs may be very pleasing both to conditioned and to liberated souls, the conditioned soul should not try to hear them. The talks between Ramananda Roy and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are conducted on the platform of liberation. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, among all worshipable objects, which is the chief? Ramananda Roy replied, the chief worshipable object is the holy name of Radha and Krishna, the Hare Krishna mantra. According to Srimad Bhagavatam 6.3.22, Etavan eva lokesmin pumsam dharma parasmritaha bhakti yogo bhagavati tannama grahanadibi. In this material world, the living entity's only business is to accept the path of bhakti yoga and chant the holy name of the Lord. And what is the destination of those who desire liberation and those who desire sense gratification? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked. Ramananda Roy replied, those who attempt to merge into the existence of the Supreme Lord will have to accept bodies like those of trees, and those who are overly inclined towards sense gratification will attain the bodies of demigods. Purport, those who desire liberation by merging into the existence of God do not desire sense gratification within the material world. On the other hand, they have no information about serving the lotus feet of the Lord. Consequently, they are doomed to stand like trees for many thousands of years. Although trees are living entities, they are non-moving. The liberated soul who merges into the existence of the Lord is no better than the trees. Trees also stand in the Lord's existence because material energy and the Lord's energy are the same. Similarly, the Brahman effulgence is also the energy of the Supreme Lord. It is the same whether one remains in the Brahman effulgence or in the material energy, because in neither is there spiritual activity. Better situated are those who desire sense gratification and promotion to the heavenly planets. Such people want to enjoy themselves like denizens of heaven in the gardens of paradise. They at least retain their individuality in order to enjoy life. But the impersonalists who try to lose their identity also lose both material and spiritual pleasure. The last destination of the Buddhist philosophers is to become just like a stone, which is immovable and has neither material nor spiritual activity. As far as the hard-working karmis are concerned, Srimad Bhagavatam states 11.10.23, Ishtveha devata jagnai swarlokan yati yagnikaha bunjita devavat tatra bhogan divyan nirjarjitan. After performing various sacrificial rituals for elevation to the heavenly planets, the karmis go there and enjoy themselves with the demigods to the extent that they have obtained the results of pious activities. In the Bhagavad Gita 9:20-21, Lord Krishna states, Traividyaman somapaputa papa jagner ishvaswargatim prartayante te punyamasarya sarendra lokam ashnanti divyan divideva bhogan te tam bhukvaswarga lokam vishalam shine punye martya lokam vishanti evam tvarai dharmamanu prapanna gatagatam kama kama labhante. Those who study the Vedas and drink the soma juice, seeking the heavenly planets, worship me indirectly. Purified of sinful reactions, they take birth on the pious heavenly planet of Indra, where they enjoy godly delights. When they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure and the results of their pious activities are exhausted, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus, those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to the principles of the three Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death. Therefore, after finishing the results of pious activities, the karmis return to this planet in the form of rain, and they begin their life as grass and plants in the evolutionary process. Ramananda Roy continued, those who are devoid of all transcendental mellows are like the crows that suck the juice from the bitter fruits of the nimba tree of knowledge, whereas those who enjoy mellows are like the cuckoos who eat the buds of the mango tree of love of Godhead. The speculative process of empiric philosophy is as bitter as the fruit of the nimba tree. Tasting this fruit is the business of crows. In other words, the philosophical process of realizing the absolute truth is a process taken up by crow-like men. But the cuckoo-like devotees have very sweet voices with which to chant the holy name of the Lord and taste the sweet fruit of the mango tree of love of Godhead. Such devotees relish sweet mellows with the Lord. Ramananda Roy concluded, the unfortunate empiric philosophers taste the dry process of philosophical knowledge, whereas the devotees regularly drink the nectar of love of Krishna. Therefore, they are the most fortunate of all. In this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Roy passed the whole night relishing the mellows of Krishna Katha, topics about Krishna. While they were chanting, dancing, and crying, the night ended. The next morning, they both departed to perform their respective duties. But in the evening, Ramananda Roy returned to meet the Lord again. That evening, after discussing the topics of Krishna for some time, Ramananda Roy caught hold of the lotus feet of the Lord and spoke as follows. There is a variety of transcendental truths, the truth about Krishna, the truth about Radharani, the truth about their loving affairs, the truth about transcendental humors, and the truth about the Lord's pastimes. You have manifested all these transcendental truths in my heart. This is exactly the way Narayan educated Lord Brahma. Purport: the heart of Brahma was enlightened by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is Vedic information given in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad 6.8. Yo Brahmanam vidhati purvam yo vai vedamscha prajinoti tasmai tam ha deva matma buddhi prakasham mumukshurvai shararamaham prapadye. Because I desire liberation, let me surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who first enlightened Lord Brahma in Vedic knowledge through Lord Brahma's heart. The Lord is the original source of all enlightenment and spiritual advancement. In this connection, one may also refer to Srimad Bhagavatam 2.9, 30 through 35, 11.14.3, 12.4.40, and 12.13.19. Ramananda Roy continued, the super soul within everyone's heart speaks not externally but from within. He instructs the devotees in all respects, and that is his way of instruction. Purport: here Sri Ramananda Roy admits that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the super soul. It is the super soul that inspires the devotee, therefore he is the original source of the Gayatri Mantra, which states Om Bhur Bhuvasva Tat Savitur, etc. Savita is the original source of all intelligence. That Savita is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam 2.4.22. Prachodita yena pura saraswati vitan vatajasya satim smitim hridi Salakshana pradurabhut kalasyata same rishinam rishibha prasidatam. May the Lord, who in the beginning of the creation amplified the potent knowledge of Brahma from within his heart and inspired him with full knowledge of creation and his own self, and who appeared to be generated from the mouth of Brahma, to be pleased with me. This was spoken by Shukadeva Goswami when he invoked the blessings of the Supreme Personality of Godhead before delivering Srimad Bhagavatam to Maharaj Parikshit. Everyone good out there? Okay. Mam Shuli, you're good? Okay. Janmadhyasa yaton vayad itaratascharte swabhigna surat teni brahmahridaya adi kavage huhyanti yat surayaha tejo vari mridam yata nibinimayo yatra trisargo mrisha damna swena sadani rasa kuakam satyam varam dhimahi. O my Lord Sri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations, and he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. It is he only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge under the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion, as one is bewildered by the illusory representations of water seen in fire or land seen on water. Only because of him do the material universes temporarily manifested by the reactions of the three modes of nature appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Sri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. This verse is the opening invocation of Srimad Bhagavatam 111. Ramananda Roy then said that he had but one doubt within his heart, and he petitioned the Lord, please be merciful upon me and just remove my doubt. Ramananda Roy then told Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, at first I saw you appear like a sannyasi, but now I am seeing you as Shyamasundar, the cowherd boy. I now see you appearing like a golden doll, and your entire body appears covered by a golden luster. Purport, Shyamasundar is blackish, but here Ramananda Roy says that he saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appear golden. The lustrous body of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was covered by the bodily complexion of Srimati Radharani. I see that you are holding a flute to your mouth, and your lotus eyes are moving very restlessly due to various ecstasies. I actually see you in this way, and this is very wonderful. My Lord, please tell me without duplicity, what is causing this? Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, you have deep love for Krishna, and one who has such deep ecstatic love for the Lord naturally sees things in that way. Please take this from me to be certain. A devotee advanced on the spiritual platform sees everything movable and inert as the Supreme Lord. For him, everything he sees here and there is but a manifestation of Lord Krishna. Stavara jangama deki nadeki taramurti sarvatra hoy nija ishta deva spurti. The Mahabhagavata, the advanced devotee, certainly sees everything mobile or immobile, but he does not exactly see their forms. Rather, everywhere he immediately sees manifest the form of the Supreme Lord. Purport, due to his deep ecstatic love for Krishna, the Mahabhagavata sees Krishna everywhere and nothing else. This is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita. Premanjana chudita bhakti vilochanena santaksa daiva hridayeshu vilokayanti. As soon as a devotee sees something, be it movable or inert, he immediately remembers Krishna. An advanced devotee is advanced in knowledge. This knowledge is very natural to a devotee, for he has already read in the Bhagavad Gita how to awaken Krishna consciousness. According to Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita 7:8, Rasoham apsukaunteya prabhasmi shashi suryayo prandavak sarvavedeshu shabda ke purusham nrshu. O son of Kunti, Arjuna, I am the taste of water, the light of the sun and the moon, the syllable Om, the Vedic mantras. I am the sound in ether and the ability in man. Thus, when a devotee drinks water or any other liquid, he immediately remembers Krishna. For a devotee, there is no difficulty in awakening Krishna consciousness 24 hours a day. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore says here, Stavara jangama deki nagdeki taramurti sarvatra hoy nija ishta deva spurti. A saintly person, an advanced devotee, sees Krishna 24 hours a day and nothing else. As far as movable and inert things are concerned, a devotee sees them all as transformations of Krishna's energy. As Lord Krishna states in the Bhagavad Gita 7:4, Bhumir apo alano vayu kambano buddhar evacha ahankara itya me bina prakritir ashtada. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Altogether, these 8 constitute my separated material energies. Actually, nothing is separate from Krishna. When a devotee sees a tree, he knows that the tree is a combination of 2 energies, material and spiritual. The inferior energy, which is material, forms the body of the tree. However, within the tree is the living entity, the spiritual spark, which is part and parcel of Krishna. This is the superior energy of Krishna within this world. Whatever living thing we see is simply a combination of these two energies. When an advanced devotee thinks of these energies, he immediately understands that they are manifestations of the Supreme Lord. As soon as we see the sun rise in the morning, we arise and set about doing our morning duties. Similarly, as soon as a devotee sees the energy of the Lord, he immediately remembers Lord Sri Krishna. This is explained in this verse, Sarvatra hoy nija ishta deva spurti. A devotee who has purified his existence through devotional service sees only Krishna in every step of life. This is also explained in the next verse, which is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.45. Sarva bhuteshu ya pashyed bhagavat bhavam atmanaha bhutani bhagavat yatmani esha bhagavatotamaha. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, a person advanced in devotional service sees within everything the soul of all souls, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Consequently, he always sees the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a cause of all causes, and understands that all things are situated in him. The plants, creepers, and trees were full of fruits and flowers due to ecstatic love of Krishna. Indeed, being so full, they were bowing down. They were inspired by such deep love for Krishna that they were constantly pouring showers of honey. In this way, the gopis saw all the forests of Vrindavan. Purport. This verse, Bhagavatam 10.35.9, is one of the songs the gopis sang during Krishna's absence. In Krishna's absence, the gopis were always absorbed in thought of him. Similarly, the Mahabhagavata, the advanced devotee, sees everything as potentially serving the Lord. Srila Rupa Goswami states, Prapanchikataya buddhya harisambandhi vastuna Mumikshubi parutyago vairagyam palgukatyate. The advanced devotee does not see anything as unconnected with Krishna. Unlike the Mayavadi philosophers, a devotee does not see the material world as false, because he knows that everything in the material world is connected to Krishna. A devotee knows how to utilize everything in the service of the Lord, and this is characteristic of the Mahabhagavata. The gopis saw the plants, creepers, and forest trees loaded with fruits and flowers and ready to serve Krishna. In this way, they immediately remembered their worshipable Lord Sri Krishna. They did not simply see plants, creepers, and trees the way a mundane sees them. Radha Krishna tomar mahaprema hai, jaha taha Radha Krishna tomare spurai. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, my dear Roy, you are an advanced devotee and are always filled with ecstatic love for Radha and Krishna. Therefore, whatever you see anywhere and everywhere simply awakens your Krishna consciousness. Ramananda Roy replied, my dear Lord, please give up all these serious talks. Please do not conceal your real form from me. Ramananda Roy continued, my dear Lord, I can understand that you have assumed the ecstasy and bodily complexion of Srimati Radharani. By accepting this, you are tasting your own personal transcendental humor and have therefore appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. My dear Lord, you have descended in this incarnation of Lord Chaitanya for your own personal reasons. You have come to taste your own spiritual bliss, and at the same time you are transforming the whole world by spreading the ecstasy of love of Godhead. My dear Lord, by your causeless mercy you have appeared before me to grant me liberation. Now you are playing in a duplicitous way. What is the reason for this behavior? Lord Sri Krishna is the reservoir of all pleasure, and Srimati Radharani is the personification of ecstatic love of Godhead. These two forms had combined as one in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This being the case, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed his real form to Ramananda Roy. Purport: this is described as Radha Bhava Duti Suvalitam Naumi Krishna Sarupam. Lord Sri Krishna was absorbed in the features of Srimati Radharani. This was disclosed to Ramananda Roy when he saw Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. An advanced devotee can understand Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being a combination of Radha and Krishna, is non-different from Radha Krishna combined. This is explained by Sarup Damodar Goswami. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikriti Hladini Shakti Rasmat Ekat Manav Abhibhuvi Pura Deha Bedam Gatau Tau Chaitanyakyam Prakadamadunata Dvayam Chaikyamaptam Radha Bhava Duti Savalitam Naumi Krishna Sarupam. Radha Krishna is one. Radha Krishna is Krishna and Krishna's pleasure potency combined. When Krishna exhibits his pleasure potency, he appears to be two, Radha and Krishna. Otherwise, Radha and Krishna are one. This oneness may be perceived by advanced devotees through the grace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This was the case with Ramananda Roy. One may aspire to attain such a position, but one should not try to imitate the Mahabhagavata. Upon seeing this form, Ramananda Roy lost consciousness in transcendental bliss. Unable to remain standing, he fell to the ground. When Ramananda Roy fell to the ground unconscious, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu touched his hand, and he immediately regained consciousness. But when he saw Lord Chaitanya in the dress of a sannyasi, he was struck with wonder. After embracing Ramananda Roy, the Lord pacified him, informing him, "But for you, no one has ever seen this form." In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna states, "Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavrita muto yam nabijanati lokomam ajam avyayam." I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them I am covered by my internal potency, Yogamaya, and so they do not know me, who am unborn and infallible. The Lord always reserves the right of not being exposed to everyone. The devotees, however, are always engaged in the service of the Lord, serving with the tongue by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra and tasting Mahaprasadam. Gradually, the sincere devotee pleases the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the Supreme Lord reveals himself. One cannot see the Supreme Lord by making personal efforts. Rather, when the Lord is pleased by the service of the devotee, he reveals himself. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu confirmed, "All truths about my pastimes and mellows are within your knowledge. Therefore, I have shown this form to you." Actually, my body does not have a fair complexion. It only appears so because it has touched the body of Srimati Radharani. However, she does not touch anyone but the son of Nanda Maharaj. And now we'll take some reflections or questions. Mukharavind.
I like in one of the purport, Prabhupada says that how the example of the Lord Shiva drinking the poison and how it was dangerous is like if someone try to imitate. I never compared this to like trying to hear the higher topic which we are not eligible. So that was like a very graphic view I could see when Prabhupada compared this to the drinking the poison. And the next paragraph he says like, yeah, you have to practice the regulative principles and then reach to that ultimate stage.
Very nice. Navina Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, whoever said that there is no humor in in these literatures. There's so much humor. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, "I'm simply Mayavadi sannyasi, and all I know is because Sarvabhauma, he told me about Krishna, and he told me to meet you." So it's very endearing, the mixture of humor and sarcasm, and embodying extreme humility and deference to his devotees.
So that part was so endearing, right?
Yes.
Yes?
It's also nice because you see Christian consciousness isn't like so grave. It is grave, but it's not so like cold face or like stone face. It's like it shows Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like joking, laughing and playing, throughout the whole Chaitanya Chamrita. Nityananda Prabhu jokes with Advaita Acharya and everybody. So it just shows it's supposed to be happy, joyful, blissful.
There's a scene later that we'll read about when they're swimming in Indradumna Sarovara, and they're playing in the water, splashing each other, Ramananda Roy and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And Mahaprabhu comments to others, tell them they're learned scholars, so why are they acting like children? And
Stop acting like little boys.
like little boys you're playing. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya mentions how he was previously eating the dry crackers just with no oil, no taste, and now they're enjoying life. And so that lightness of heart. What I thought was very interesting in this last section was Prabhupada's saying a karmi going to the heavenly planets was better than somebody merging into oneness or the void state of a Buddhist stone-like state, because at least he's active, and those other ones are out of the game. Devrata.
Yeah, when we read that, I remember being in college and reading about a Tibetan Buddhist who'd apparently achieved enlightenment by becoming like a stone in some mountain somewhere in the Tibetan region. And as we were reading that and I was remembering that, like, why would anyone want to attain such a state? And then contrast that with the various options out there. It's not really so attractive.
No, definitely not. Okay, I'm looking to the outside people's party. I'm not seeing anything. That's all right. Okay, Madhav.
I had a question in text 257. Actually, I didn't understand. Therefore, after finishing the results of pious activities, the karmis again return to this planet in the form of rain, and they begin their life as grass and plants in the evolutionary process. Like, they actually come as rain? Or
Yes. So it's kind of like frequent flyer miles. They treat you all nice until you run out, and then no more upgrades. You board last. So they go to the heavenly planets when they have pious credits, and then when they're done, they come back down. They get condensed into the clouds, the souls, and they're enveloped by droplets that come down to the earth, and those take on the form of grains, and the grains then are eaten by animals, and the animals then, the soul enters into the semen, and that's how the soul makes its way back into the cycle on terra firma and starts the cycle again. Actually, Bhakti Shri Swami once in New Vrindavan was giving a seminar, and he had something from some Purana describing how horrible it is falling down from the heavenly planets. It's like when people have something great materially, they're always afraid they're going to lose it. But the way he described it was how they actually, when they run out, they get dragged out and they're torn to pieces in a very gruesome way, and tears come from their eyes. The soul goes into the tear, then it enters into the water that gets rained upon the earth. So next time it rains. That's the process described in the Vedic literature. Mukharvind. And then we're going to Amrita Sagar.
The 265 verse also had question that in that it says Ramanand Rai continued, the super soul within everyone's heart speaks not externally but from within. He instructs the devotee in all respects, and that is his way of instruction. We also know that super soul, like the spiritual master, or even Prabhupada says that he got the instructions, like for example he told that magazine, he was writing magazine, but then some of his friend told him that magazine it will go into the so better you write books. So he told that is my spiritual master is speaking through that friend. So that I could not understand this, the super soul within everyone said speak not externally but from within. What does that mean?
Well, I'll tell you what it doesn't mean. It doesn't mean that that Krishna can't speak to you through nature or through the voices of other people. That's why the idea of Vartmana Pradakshaka Guru comes from. It's somebody who's unrelated to Krishna consciousness, who's just an ordinary person, might say something to you to inspire you to become Krishna conscious. And you also might serendipitously meet people by Krishna's arrangement that suggest something or another that helps you move forward on your path. It's a very serendipitous path because Krishna is guiding yourself within. So it's just an isolated statement, but it doesn't mean that he doesn't speak from within and from without. That's why the verse Naivo Payantya Pachitim Kaviyastavesha Brahma Yushapi Kridam Ridam Udasmaranta Yontar Bahis Tanubridham Ashubhan Vadunvan Acharya Chaitya Vapusha Swagatim Janakti Yontar Antar Bahi, within and without, he said, you're teaching me both ways. Right? Yes. Okay, and then we have Amrita Sagar Das, the servant of the ocean of nectar.
Hare Krishna. This verse which was just quoted, Naham Prakasha Sarvasya, saying how Krishna doesn't, or he reserves the right not to manifest himself to everyone. I'll just face this way so that we don't have feedback. I find this to be very helpful for my own faith personally, because whenever there's some aspect of Krishna consciousness which doesn't soothe my intellect or doesn't make sense at first, I can just attribute it to this. Because like if Krishna, he reserves the right not to reveal himself to everyone, and if he could be understood just through my limited intellect alone, then he wouldn't be God. So that's to be expected, is my takeaway from that.
Nicely done. I like it a lot. Thank you very much. Nirkula's clapping. Okay. Last chance for the outside People's Party. They're protesting today. Complete silence. Was it something we said? Okay. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back here at 7.5 minutes after. Hare Krishna.